So over on my astrotometry channel, I posted a video that I believe is the equivalent of only two other scientific discoveries, empirical observations in the history of Western civilization. And those discoveries are the discovery that the Earth can be circumnavigated, and the discovery that everything is not rotating around the Earth, that everything isn't orbiting the Earth, and that we are orbiting the Sun. Those are the only two observations that I think are equivalent in magnitude to this observation. And while I think there are other esoteric schools that have approached this understanding, I don't believe I have ever encountered any empirical data on it. And so if you want to check the comments for this video, there is a link for that announcement. And 3 years ago, well, actually, it was in 2004. It's almost been 4 years now. Time flies. Is when I came to the understanding of this phenomenon, and so this has been something that I've been sitting on for a while, but I just had to get it off my shoulders. And so take a look at it. I'm going to make a much more scientific video explaining the details of it at some point in the future. At least I hope to. And I hope you, if you have any questions about that announcement, feel free to ask. If they're non-scientific questions, I'll ask that you post those questions here on Patterns in Chaos. And so I imagine it'll be many years before the impact of this discovery is actually realized. I don't know exactly how long. It seems like the technological singularity is really changing the landscape as far as information and knowledge and the acquisition of understanding. I don't know to what extent that will continue, and to what extent that will accelerate the application of this discovery. But I think that's the most fascinating part of it. I don't intend to push this very hard at all. I don't think it needs to be pushed. I don't think that the culture is in any position to resist it at this point. The Western culture is in a decline, and it seems to be falling under the weight of its own deception. And so I think it's the people that seek this that are the audience that I'm looking for. And I think those who would be opposing it probably aren't going to have the energy necessary to do so. A lot of people still seem to be unaware of the extent to which Western culture was deceived about the nature of global warming. And this year is going to be one of the coldest years in recent history. And next year is going to be even colder, global temperature-wise. And the reason for this is that the solar cycle hasn't started back up, and it went 3 years over. And we're moving into a period that is looking like the Maunder minimum in its effect. And there was a miniature ice age. And I don't think people realize just how quickly a glacier could form. I mean, if you could imagine the situation if on your continent there was no melt, if it snowed in the summer, and it was just a constant accumulation. How that might affect the formation of or reformation of a glacier. I'm not saying that's the situation we're getting into, and in fact, I think there is a certain amount of effect that we have as a culture on what is actually going to happen. But at this point in time, what I'm seeing is the continuation of this trend. The cycle should have started up 3 years ago, and if there is any type of conservation of the energy in a cycle, we might be headed for some very, very interesting times, because if in a cycle the energy that comes from a particular active region or a particular spot represents a compensation for energy that was missed someplace else in the cycle, then that could produce a very, very energetic shift that might really change the dynamics here on the Earth. And so, for you skeptics, I'm putting a link in the comments for a statement that was made recently by Al Gore, how he failed very seriously with his analysis in the global warming situation. And I think it goes to show you, in a sense, the state that science has gotten into in giving Mr. Gore the Nobel Prize. And I think that this is the rule more than the exception right now, unfortunately. And some of you watching this might understand that there is a connection between this sort of degradation, this sort of corruption in our system, and the disappearance of the sunspots. Now, of course, all of you scientific people are going to go, oh, that's crazy, oh, that's impossible. But I would warn you to observe the facts, to look at the real data. And, you know, if you want to go over to the Astrotometry channel and watch the video that I posted, I'll also link that in the comments, on the Hypertime shadow of orbital inconsistency. It kind of details how our actual physical presence is the separation in our actual physical presence is reconnected in the moment, in time. And so there's this supersymmetry to the nature of the universe that is the mechanism of cause and effect that relates our collective consciousness to collective manifestation. And I know that's a mouthful. I think I said it very well, though. And that is sort of the implication of astrotometry on consciousness and physical manifestation. But that, to understand the physics of it, you need to understand the hypertime shadow of orbital inconsistency, which manifests not just, you know, in the cosmos, but right here on Earth.